Yes, before we consolidate on new terminology, I just want to bring the television and radio advantages and disadvantages to a closure so that we can put Module 6 to bed. Welcome to PRN5, and it is Simon Ellis Classroom Online. In this specific section, we're going to have a learning outcome with the advantages and disadvantages of television and radio, which we call electronic media, will be discussed. Discuss the various options for advertising on television. Why would you as a public relations officer use the television as your platform? And then explain how to measure television audiences and select the best programs. Now, LO3 we have done in the previous video, so I'll opt not to go through that specific section again. And LO4 describe the advantages of the radio, and lastly explain the options as a PR officer for advertising on radios and how radio audiences are measured. The latter part of LO5 we will also not touch on, or I will not repeat because it was done in your previous part 3. So, the medium of television, we have broadcast television, we have cable, we've got TV audience, terrains, etc. that would be part of your electronic media. So, you know, and there's information of the US, but it is a global phenomenon to have a television set in a household. The pros and the cons, it's mass coverage opposed to high production cost because the actors in the television ad needs to be paid. I think that kicks up the cost. Low cost per exposure, high airtime cost, etc. when you have it. And here these pros and cons are nicely tabled out for you, what we've done in part 3 as well. So I'm just looking at prestige and clutter. The pro, it just comes so natural when you have a colorful enactment of what you're trying to say. That is a big advantage for using the television medium. Types of TV advertising, we've got spot announcements, we've got program length ads, where you play information systems, infomercials, and then we have product placements as well. Product placements, when Kirby wants to sell the latest vacuum cleaner, it will usually be slotted in 10 to 11. Why? Because all the housewives will be in front of the tellies, perhaps drinking a cup of tea or getting the gym equipment out, etc. Whichever. I'm just making a rough example here. Rating services, company samples of TV and radio audiences, how many callers do they have in, how many people are viewing the specific program, etc. Day parts, there's segmentation for you on a television. 6 a.m. the early morning slot. You've got your daytime, etc. And how do they measure it? We've put it in the previous section. Do the households, how many people have TVs, etc. Gross rating and audience measurements. Again, I want to emphasize that I will be sharing this information to you via your PDF or your PowerPoint on your soft copies, email, or the social chat group that we've established. Who uses the radio? Number of people can be marketed there. Radio programming and audiences. We have your FM radios, your AM radios, and your satellite radios as well. Again, you have your radio day parts as well, when you find the different radio stations doing your music, your extracts, etc. being in the education sector, now we have many radio stations that are on board with slotting in different subjects at different time slots. That's a whole day part for the radio station, and other, even the television stations as well, on a specific channel. Can purchase by day part on a run of stations as well. And there we have our pros and cons as depicted also in the previous slide or the previous videos, that you will have different advantages and disadvantages using the radio also as a mechanism, as one of the electronic mediums. And that is just the recap. It's short-lived because as the message comes on, it is over. You can't rewind or ask the people to say it again, because time is then gone for that specific ad to be on the radio. Radio terminology, and that's just for your interest. It's not part and parcel of your syllabus. And thank you very much for coming together, and in the next part we will just consolidate as to what sections are in a newspaper. Yes, it might sound simple, but yes, there are terminology that you need to know when you are a public relations officer and you need to deal with press releases or a statement that you need to state on the radio. Thank you very much for watching.